Welcome, everyone. This is Glenda Dawson, and you're watching Glenda's Dragon's Den. I just want to take this moment to uh, show my gratitude for everyone that comes on and watches this program, whether live or later on in rerun. And I would like to say that I appreciate everyone who's been sharing these podcasts and liking and of course subscribing. So the more you share, sharing is caring, but the more you share, the more people can see and hear about different perspective, different types of views, and different lifestyles. Because this is what we're here about. We're here to take that box out of your way and let you think and let you remember who you truly are. So tonight, without further ado, without further talking, we have Dr. Sylvain Rochon, I believe how you pronounce it. Okay,
So,
very good. I mess up on names a lot of the time, so I apologize if I did that. So, tell us about you. The audience always loves to know the background.
um, well, I gave myself a title that is descriptive when just before I published my first book, which was the 2017 2018. Because like people are complex. You don't have only one title.
Mm-hmm.
But I was looking for a title of the book, and my friend at the my friend, I asked her, it's like, "What do you think?" And she says, "Well, what you're really trying to do in your life is to create a paradise on Earth, right?" So because since I'm a very small boy, I wanted the world to be perfect and kind of nice, and people be nice, being 5 years old. Yeah, you think that way. And I still think this way, but
Right,
less naive,
right,
more realistic.
right.
And I'm also happen to be an engineer, so I'm a chemical engineer,
Mm-hmm.
and so we were kind of jamming on that, like we were at a conference or something, and looking for the title of my book, right, which was more about technology than anything, but how you can build the future together.
Right.
And then she says, "Why don't you call it Engineering Paradise?" The title of the book. I
Mm-hmm.
said, "That's great. Yeah, because it is about creating intentionally
Right.
the new world, right?" So that's what the words mean. And then it kind of dawned on me, it's like, I'm the paradise engineer. Like
Very
I'm
good.
an engineer and also to build the paradise.
Right.
So my purpose in most of my life has been how can we build a better world in what way? And
Mm-hmm.
being with my background, I fell in technology, I fell in engineering, I fell in education. In doing that, but when I wrote the book in 2018, it was about empowering other people, showing them that there was a way to create this world. It's not just a pipe dream. It's
Right.
something that's real. We have the technology, we have the means, the understanding to actually do it. So that all fell into place, and it created this identity in me that could be summarized by these two words. So this is who I am, and I introduce myself that way in many cases. Um, and throughout this discovery, kind of like this process, I've created a number of technology companies, usually software for profit, not for profit, and so on. And in 2020, I've always been involved also with how do we deal with extraterrestrial
Right.
civilizations, right? So I had to jump that in because that's going to be the brunt of what we're going to be talking about here.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking about, okay, well, there's Earth, like we want to make Earth nice here, but that's not everything that's happening
Right.
in the universe. There's a lot more that is misunderstood, not understood, strange, and unexplored that we're kind of trying to figure out in a lot of
Mm-hmm.
cases, including scientists, by the way, like not just people in their bathrooms and like seeing things in the sky and things like that. So you have
Right.
the real minds that are trying to figure out the mysteries of what's around us and outside. So I've always had thought about that as well, and I've been throughout my life been participating in groups and organizations and projects to thinking about ETs. Like, how do we welcome them? Who are they?
Mm-hmm.
How do we interact with them? What should we do? That kind of thing. So in 2020, I contacted a long-term friend of mine. I said, okay, it seems like the time is right to bring a project of ours, which was to build an ET embassy. That's been
Mm-hmm.
going on for a long time, but bring that to the whole world in a
Right.
network fashion. So that was the birth of the Alliance for Extraterrestrial Diplomatic Contact. That's the organization I'm going to be focusing on this evening.
Mm-hmm.
We created that in 2020, officially registered 2021 in Canada. And since then, we've had over 30 organizations join the network that account for over 2 million individuals that all want to see humanity join the bigger picture.
Mm-hmm.
Have a create an official embassy that is recognized by the United Nations and other nations, so
Right.
that we can coalesce around it under rules that we all understand,
Mm-hmm.
and welcome the first official ET civilization visibly with media, attention, all that stuff in that building. Start diplomatic conversations. So
Right.
that's the whole purpose of the alliance, is doing that, and there's a lot of interest in it, and more publicity, thanks to disclosure and other events around the world,
Mm-hmm.
talking about, well, what if we are being observed, and what if we've been visited for such a long time, and we're way ahead of that. We're like, no, we have been for a long
Right.
time. Now we have to prepare ourselves for the official greeting.
Right.
Right?
So correct. So correct. Yes.
Yeah.
So when you get together in this organization, um, is it anybody could join in, or does it have to be specific people, or how does that work?
No, it's volunteer-based organization. We set it up as a not-for-profit.
Okay.
So in that sense, we get contacted by a number of people all the time that offer funds, because we need to operate.
Mm-hmm.
Volunteers, like, people want to just participate, lend a hand in some way, and people from all sorts of professions and backgrounds come, and we accept them all. There's always something that can be done,
Right.
even small things, right? And other people want to get more involved and deeply involved, and those people we meet on a more regular basis, and we have tasks and titles and do different things.
Right.
My primary partner, Daniel Turcotte, this title would be the president, like, officially.
Okay.
He's the one responsible for all the conversations that are happening with world governments.
Okay.
While I'm in a different bucket, I developed the network and the collaboration and the organize the volunteers. So we split the tasks.
Mm-hmm.
His work tends to be extremely confidential,
Mm-hmm.
because he speaks with politicians and diplomats about establishing the embassy on their territory,
Right.
and they don't want the media to leak information and do crazy stories as they would.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very, very quiet. He's super quiet in this corner, traveling the world, meeting all these people, and nobody hears about it. While I'm here,
You're out here.
talking about everything that we're doing,
Right.
to at podcasts and other people. So getting the word out
Right.
about the project, that it exists. It is properly funded. The embassy itself is ready to be built. You see behind me that those are 3D blueprints. We have the actual
Nice.
architectural blueprints as well.
Nice.
And we raised $50 million US for the construction of the embassy.
Wow.
So we're not looking for funds to build the embassy. That's been raised over many, many years, even before the alliance existed,
Right.
in collaboration with other organizations. So it's really the diplomatic work that needs to be done. There's an official embassy. Like, there are many projects around the planet of people that have built landing strips, buildings, embassies, or what you call it, on their land, and say, well, okay, this is the place, but the UN doesn't recognize it because there are
Right.
rules around it,
Right.
right? So what we're trying to do is like there has to be an official embassy under the Vienna Convention of 1969, which means a country needs to, like an actual country, needs to
Mm-hmm.
say this piece of land is extraterritorial, so it's no longer ours.
Right.
It belongs now to an ET civilization under the Vienna Convention, and we will build an embassy there, and we will provide the funds, right, and the
Right.
blueprints and everything, and they build that. That's an official embassy. It requires a country to do work
Right.
and make decisions and make the declaration in public.
Mm-hmm.
That's the hard part.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Right. But I could see this happening, especially now with all this disclosure and all that. I could see it definitely just around the corner, because I believe that the first place that actually decides to do this will be seeing in the future and be open to the future, and knowing that there's a place where we could say, okay, you could land here and you won't get harmed. You could appear, because I am sure that they're all around us. They're just uh, very well hidden.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So now, is that exactly how it's going to look? It's beautiful. Now, can you explain a little bit about it?
Yeah, I mean, there's even on our YouTube channel, there's even videos like where you can like fly through what it looks like inside, and there's explainers about. I mean, we have a team of architects that's been working on it for several years until it's ready now, right? So,
Nice.
but in a nutshell, what it is, it's a meeting place, and and you can see in the background a little bit. There's a little like a first dome after you enter from the
Right.
road,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
That's like a place for like an entrance area, let's say.
Okay.
Then there's another circle, and you can see it's more on the back side of the embassy. There's another circle that's more a conference room.
Okay.
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 So and the donut, what we call the donut, because that's what it looks like, right?
Right.
That's where there's a little landing pad, and that's a residential area. These are apartments.
Ah.
In the apartment area, on both sides, there's two tunnels, like a back and a front.
Right.
There's an airlock. That's it, because we realize that our visitors who want to be comfortable may have a different atmosphere they'll want to inject in there.
Very good.
So the plans is to have airlocks so that it's airtight, and then if they want to push out methane or whatever
Right.
in there, they can.
Right. Whatever they can survive with or be stable with, yes.
Yeah, because in principle, we don't have information. Like, it's not like they're telling us like these are the blueprints and this is the air we breathe. Like, we don't have that information.
Right.
Either,
Right.
Like, it's we know they're around. There's a lot of people that are being communicated with, including many people in the alliance that are channeling or contacting, and there's many others outside.
Right. Like myself.
There you go.
Yeah,
See,
I channel them.
they don't tell you. It's like, well, here's the composition of our atmosphere.
Yeah, and I'm
It's
like,
not-
what?
It's like, no, that's not a conversation. And I presume being an engineer and kind of understanding, where they're coming from,
Right.
like they don't need to tell us that. It's like, look, like we have the technology. Just give us a space,
Right.
and we'll do whatever we'll provide with our space suits or whatever. Like they don't
Right.
bother us with things that would be complicated for us to do, but very simple for them.
Exactly. They come down, they fix it, and we're still going, what was that formula? So,
Well, yeah, and this is something I talk about quite a bit because I think it's important to discuss the relationship here and the differences that we have. Like they've been watching us. Those that are around the planet, they come from different solar systems. Typically, to travel that distance requires significant technology that we don't have currently. At least doing it quickly, like
right.
over the speed of light. We have theories about how to do that on Earth,
Right.
but we don't have the technology or the energy levels to actually do it yet. It'll come.
Yeah.
But they licked this like 1,000 years ago plus. Right? They're way more advanced than we are. So first point, when they visit here, it's not because they need something from us,
Right.
like our resources, our labor. There's an old, terrible movie, by the way, called Battlefield Earth, with John Travolta. It's a good
Yes.
actor, but
Yes.
terrible movie. And they come here to, like, it's an exploitative alien race that comes to Earth and enslave Bronze Age man to mine gold.
Hmm.
The premise is ridiculous because gold is way more abundant in the asteroids
Yeah.
where there's no one. And Bronze Age man, like modern man, is terrible at manual labor.
Hmm.
Bronze Age man was even worse. There's no tools, no knowledge, nothing. So there's a lot of ideas out there that are just nonsensical. When they come here, like in reality, they
Right.
don't need anything from us. They have everything. They have AI, robots, drones. Like they've had that for a million years. They come here for a different reason. It's not
Hmm.
because they don't need anything. They come here because they want us to grow. They're
Exactly.
observing us.
Exactly.
They were involved, I believe, at least in a lot of theories, they were involved in our creation and our existence early on.
Hmm.
So we're like sons and daughters to them.
Right.
So it's an emotional attachment. It's like a desire for us to grow. And if they appear in the sky or elsewhere, it's because they choose to. They don't need
Hmm.
to use traditional means. So that brings us to the very important second point. They don't need the embassy either. That's
Right.
not for them, which is weird, but really it's for us.
Right.
Our laws, our rules to avoid self-harm between nations. We
Hmm.
need rules to understand this is where this is going to happen. These are the rules associated with it. We
Right.
understand each other. Okay. We sign documents, we agree,
Right.
right? And then the aliens come, they come, or the ETs, we shouldn't call them aliens, although
Uh,
even though they are.
yeah.
They come that place to respect our rules and our customs,
Right.
not because they need to. They can communicate with us from their own planet if they want to.
Hmm. Hmm.
So they come us out of respect. It's like, well, this is how you want the visit to happen. You want the cameras, okay, fine. And so the building is there for us,
Correct.
right?
Right.
Because we are primitives in this relationship,
Hmm. And
and we
and
are
we need to see things. We don't just, we have this thing about, we say we believe, we have faith, and we believe in things, but unless you actually experience it, a lot of people won't
yeah,
accept it.
sure.
So,
Sure, even after the civilizations come, the ET civilizations come, and it's broadcasted in social media, in mainstream media. People are crowded around, right, and witnesses with their own eyes, and they post about it, pictures,
mm,
all that stuff that you can imagine. Even then, you're going to have a subset of the population that will refuse to believe
yeah.
that this is even a thing, that it even happens. This is just the nature of humanity. It's not something we should decry. It's just natural.
No.
There's a bell
Right.
curve, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, on the other side of the spectrum, you'll have those that will create a cult out of it and go a bit crazy on the other side, right?
Right.
Declaring them as gods or whatever. Like you'll have the whole spectrum of humanity is going to be
Hmm.
represented in their understanding of what's happened.
Right.
That's fine. That's us.
It is, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But yes, yes. So what inspired you to really do this? Like, did you just wake up one day and poof, there it is, or
There's some odd moments here. When I was really young, like I was exploring in the unknown,
right?
ghosts, ETs, everything that was strange, I was curious about. So that was the start of it. And then the engineering paradise kind of like mentality was had, since I was young. So that's kind of like the seeds, I
Right.
suppose,
Mm-hmm.
where this evolved over time. I got the understanding through reading books and meeting different people, including having plenty of interactions with the Raelian movement, and Rael himself, actually, the leader who's a contactee, right, for a number of years. I gained the understandings like, wait a minute, like we're not alone. These are beneficial. We got created or had heavy interactions with them, and that describes a lot of the Old Testament and a bunch of scriptures, and also things that we see in modern day.
Right.
So I was that's the information gathering phase, I guess. But what was is kind of mechanical, understanding and kind of growing things and building projects and relationships. But in 2020, it was a particular time when I approached Danielle, and I said, well, we have to build an organization. That moment was a bit strange. I've never had a visitation or a communication with ETs. Like, I'm not an experiencer at all. Not a channeler, nothing. I'm just a paradise engineer, a bit weird person, but no direct apparent relationship with ETs.
Okay.
Right? And in 2020, I just called him up. I said, Dan, the ET Embassy project, which has been carried by the movement since 1974, it's like we have to bring it global. We can't just leave it where it is with one organization. It has to be like something outside of it.
Right.
And what gave me that idea, I don't know where it came from, but it was a feeling. And when I spoke with him, he said, I agree. Like, I have a feeling like that things are different now. That year, there was something going on. So all right, well, let's do it then. So we're both entrepreneurial, so we just built a completely separate organization in Canada, and we started inviting organizations and volunteers. And when we started talking to people, including our first strong volunteers, they told us the same thing. Some of them were channelers too.
Yes.
They said, yeah, the time is now to actually do this. And in a few years, they're coming, because they were talking. They're talking with the Galactic Council and some of these other organizations. This is okay, like, great. Like, so there was this, and even we got contact with PhD scientists that had never thought about this subject at all, and they came to us like, look, like, I have a feeling this is important. For a scientist to actually say that's really hard, because they usually don't say, like, I have a feeling, like that. You don't really get guided as a scientist with feelings.
No.
But they just like there's something like I feel compelled to explore this, right, and to dive into this in some way. And so there seems to be an emergence of a plan that is coming to a different phase from different people that are in contact and other people that are not in apparent contact, like myself.
Right.
But it certainly feels like I'm being directed in some way.
And I've been also getting that actual contact, visible public contact is going to happen very shortly. And so that should be interesting. That's why I'm saying that I'm sure that as soon as something like that happens, there's going to be countries all over the place saying, yes, come on, this is the place, and see who gets the first embassy. Let's just say that. So
that's a good point. The first embassy, like, we really don't care who does it first, as long as it's done right. Like I said, like, it has to be like an official one.
Right.
Any country in the world can say, hey, like, okay, we want it here. And it starts a snowball effect, because the other countries because we contacted with all countries in the world since 2019, even before the end of the alliance. All of them are aware of the project, and many of them have had several discussions with us, with Danielle specifically. So when one publicly announces, the others that are aware and were in talks, they're all going to say, oh, wait a minute, like, we want to be first. So there's going to be more than one embassy that's going to be planned.
Right. Right.
Sure.
Oh, that
Yeah.
sounds great.
And it's
Now,
going to, yeah.
you who, like you say, you're not a contactee that you remember or know about. Let's just point that out because sometimes they do contact us, and for some reason there isn't a memory of those particular moments.
Hmm.
Um, but you get a feeling, and you just get a push to do what's next. Do you feel it's your higher self that came into this lifetime knowing that you needed to do this so they could be recognized properly as galactics or whatever terminology we want to
I,
use?
I'm a scientist myself. So I got to say, I don't know.
Mm.
I've been told by others that are in communication that,
Right.
like, yeah, like this, you are being guided. So I said, great. That doesn't change anything in my life. No way that I'm being guided or not. It's just like I feel right by doing these things, right?
Right.
So I'm compelled by my own selfish desire to accomplish what feels correct, right?
Mm.
So my hypothesis based on that is that I don't need the contact, and perhaps Kevin Briggs. Are you familiar with Kevin Briggs?
Oh,
Maybe.
yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, I had a conversation with him. I had several, but I asked him. It's like, what do you think is going on here? How come I don't? Because I'd be glad to have contact. I mean, that would be
Right,
great.
right.
Like I'd be super ecstatic about it. So I asked him about it. It's like, how come I don't get like my little candy here? Like I like be in contact, having these great experiences, seeing
Right.
things, and I don't. And he says, like, well, I don't know for sure, Sylvain, but maybe it's your purpose not to be outside of that box,
Mm-hmm.
to remain the objective, skeptical scientist mind. Because once you get contacted, it is a transformative
Yes.
experience
Yes, it
for
is.
everybody,
Yes, it
right?
is.
And now how is your vision different
Right.
after you have like a very direct, visceral, obvious contact? And
Mm-hmm.
I say, yeah, like I wouldn't be able to think the same way, wouldn't I? Now I retain the doubt of a
Right.
scientist throughout. It allows me, and it has like allowed me to talk with people that are not experiencers, that have doubts, that are skeptics, to speak at their same level because I get it. Like I don't have that experience. I believe the people around me that are channelers because I've known them. I know they're strong. I know
Right.
they're rational people. They're not crazy, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
I believe what they say, but it's like I'm always retain a certain amount of uncertainty because I'm not an experiencer myself. I can't just
Right.
believe. I
Right.
can't do that, right? So I think that's my purpose. Well, he told me that's your purpose is to be that person.
Mm-hmm.
It creates bridges with the rest of the world that are not experiencing these things and want to understand at a more rational level, right?
Mm-hmm.
Rationalize it in some way.
And I look at things like when you question, it's not about not believing, but it's about learning the why, when, and where,
Yeah.
and opening other ideas, other perspectives. Because you as a non-remembrance or not having the contact leaves you open to say, well, okay, they need this or they need that. And where if you would have had the contact, you would have said, oh, they don't need this, they don't need that. And it creates, even in your um, architectural drawings, it creates a different drawing, a different building, a different environment. Now, do you see this, since you called the book basically Paradise, do you see this as a possible paradise at some point? Do you see this as um, all different embassies, building different embassies in different places and becoming a place where humans can actually walk in there and be at peace instead of out here in, war and
Hmm.
all
Well,
that.
I think there's two things. One, I think the people that are watching us, they're waiting for us to be at a certain stage of wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
Not perfect, will never
No.
be, but just like to have most of the people in the population ready to peacefully greet them, but also be able to peacefully greet each other. To
Mm-hmm.
make peace with ourselves, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we've, I believe, despite what you see in social media in the news,
Mm-hmm.
you can look at statistics. Like if you look at individuals, not leaderships and at the top levels of governance,
Right.
people,
Right. Right.
when they talk about other people, because of the internet, we've had internet for 20 years plus, right? People see other people, and they're not strange barbarians beyond
Right.
the borders anymore,
Right.
right?
Right. Right.
Like they know, like these are also people. They have children. Like we don't understand exactly the custom, but we understand each other. So normal people are peaceful with each other,
Yes. Yes.
right? In
Yes.
general, unless you're in the West Bank and like a pistol, somebody comes into your land to aggress you. Well,
Right.
you'll have a problem with that person,
Right.
fine, right? Somebody enters into your home in Pennsylvania. Yeah, you
Right.
have a problem with that person,
Right.
but you're not
Exactly.
blaming the whole population anymore because you've been around, you've seen things. So among each other,
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of peace and understanding, which is the precursor, the most necessary precursor to a visitation from elsewhere, because they're not looking at our leaders specifically to see if there's going to be peace.
Right.
They're looking at the mentality and mood of the population as a whole that does direct the dynamics of leadership. It's
Mm.
like, are you ready as a civilization for the contact? There is that component that I talked about earlier. Like our governors or our leaders are the ones that have the big red button of nukes and things like that. They
Yes.
are dangerous. So that's the embassy, is to alleviate that danger, not
Mm-hmm.
the danger of John Smith, buying his hot dog on the corner.
Right. Right.
That's not the person we're worried about to make an embassy for. Like
Right.
they'll be fine. It's really the leadership. The embassy is really for that layer that is dangerous, to make decisions for the population that is welcoming,
Right.
for purposes of power, reading control, or whatever that is. That's what we're working on, and they need to wait for that to be resolved, because
Mm-hmm.
that's dangerous. Even if the whole population is behind the visitation and in peace, that's still a danger. Um, so an embassy being built under the right circumstances, which we're nearly there,
Mm-hmm.
allows for the leadership part, the dangers of the leadership to be eliminated. It can be built anywhere. Others can be built anywhere as well. And then you start a relationship with an ET civilization uh, that will teach us through their own history, I presume,
Mm-hmm.
how to make further peace and how to be even better, and how this paradise I keep talking about can be accelerated. We're already on a path to it now,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
on our own.
Right.
We, despite again, some of the atrocities that's still happening,
Right.
but their appearance will accelerate this, I believe, because then we'll have an example
Mm-hmm.
that is more advanced, and they'll probably share that information with us.
And that humans will see that they're not the only ones here. We're not it. We're not the head.
Yeah.
That's I believe that's where the ego begins, and that's where a lot of these higher officials have a problem managing that idea that they're not the only ones.
Hmm.
And but once that there is actual proven actual contact in a larger form, uh, humans can then get out of their own way. I think
Yeah.
that that in itself is going to bring a lot more peace, because it's going to finally say, okay, why are we killing each other? Why are we doing this? there's so much more we could look forward to.
Yeah. I think we'll have like a global observer effect.
Mm-hmm.
Familiar with that term? It's usually used when an astronaut goes in orbit and sees the Earth.
Right. Right.
And the effect is like they don't see any borders or anything like that, and they feel like, wow, like this is a unified planet. Why? And they question all
Exactly.
the minor stuff on the borders and things like that. So that's the
Exactly.
observer effect. I think we'll have that globally when
Mm.
there is like an obvious entrance. It's like,
Right.
hey, here we are. We've been like, I don't know, like here's a video of us, watching you try to build the pyramids in Giza. You know, here's here's a view, here's a conversation we had with Moses,
Right.
like, whatever. Like, I mean, here's when our friend here, Indra in India, had a meeting with the Buddha, or whatever, right? And,
Right.
and real proof of these things. It's like, hey, like we've been around for thousands of years, and like people are gonna have like, wait a minute, like I don't know what to do with this information,
Mm-hmm.
but like I don't know anything.
That's exactly what's going to happen, and we're going to realize that we still have so much more to learn. That we're not it. We're not the top on top of the food chain like we think we are. We're we're really kind of on the lower end of the things,
Yeah, it'll be
and
a humbling
yeah,
moment, I think, for
exactly.
most, and scary for a lot of people too, because people get scared of the unknown, and when it breaks
Yes.
down what you think you know, it can be scary.
Right.
Um, and so I think it'll be extremely transformative for us all. And they don't need to share. They won't share their technology, anything like that, because we're still going to be a bit crazy, right?
Right.
We're not we're not there yet. But they'll share these things that I talked about. Like, here's different things, and here's their history. Here's
Yeah, it's like they're showing us their phone and their picture gallery. Oh, I posted
sure,
this on social media. Here it
for sure.
is.
Like I sent to Glenda like 2,000 years ago. Like on Instagram, I
Right.
sent this picture of moments
What, she
like that.
didn't share it with you? Why didn't she share it?
Sure, because they were, and the realization that that's like we don't know anything. It'll
Right.
allow us to ask the right questions, I think.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
it, like I said, it'll accelerate the moment where we can build a better civilization. Because now we'll just, okay, like all these things that we thought were really important here are really not.
No. Yep.
And let's focus on things that are more important, and then we can probably move faster ahead. And with guys, like they'll act a bit like guys, just providing their own history, describing their culture, how do they govern themselves, like
Mm-hmm.
just don't giving us information that is not non-problematic. It's
Right.
like these are examples. This is how we manage AI, for example, because it's really topical. Right? Like this is what here's our AI now. Like this worked well for us. This was a problem,
Right.
and then it's like okay, like not like we have to take the information and do it the
No,
same
but
way.
it does open up other channels and other questions and
Remove
other
some of the fear
solutions.
and concerns, and
Right.
it's like we copy each other's countries and programs sometimes here. It's like, oh, that's a great program. Let's go
Mm-hmm.
and get at that. So I think that's what's going to happen. And very, very quickly past that first moment of contact, I believe a lot of people, probably most people, will start having a personal relationship with extraterrestrials in various ways. It'll become normal very quick.
Mm-hmm. I,
Uh,
I agree
what
with you on that.
Yeah, well, there's plenty of history about this, like things that were traumatic at first for humans,
Mm-hmm.
realizations and whatnot. Like when the Europeans arrived and met the natives in Polynesia, for
Right.
example,
Right.
they've never seen a boat before, so for them, like they were gods. At first, like was really traumatic, really transformative. But after 6 months, you can see this from the writings of they got really accustomed to having the Europeans there, and they started to complain because they saw like, okay, they were great at first, like amazing, and then after like, wait a minute, like they stink, and like they have bad habits, and they started to like get used to it and see things more clearly.
Right.
So we do the same things, and it really takes just a few months for us to be to start kind of coming down from euphoria
Right.
or worry and see things for what they are, and it'll become normal.
Mm-hmm.
And we do want that. We do want people to feel comfortable. It's like we're not alone. There's other things. Now you get to explore a new universe, right,
Right.
and better understanding.
And new customs and, like you said, new understandings and a different way of looking at life in
Mhm.
itself. Because we're worried about the little tiny thing in the world, and here are various nations, right?
Mhm.
Let's call it that. Various civilizations that have given up on the little minutia stuff. They are into, don't just looking at the bigger picture, transforming themselves, making sure that they remain in a high frequency, high vibrational state, and we're looking at the little tiny things yet.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
now it's really amazing to me because you are a scientist and you are an engineer. So there's a lot of mental um, brainiac stuff. And
True.
well, you
True.
know, to put it down to simple terms, and yet you're really going by a feeling, a belief to some
Yeah, I
degree.
don't like to call it belief. It's more of a feeling, but I
Yeah,
mean that's semantics, I guess.
right, right. But
Uh,
a feeling.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah. I trust my gut, I guess, more
You're.
than the average scientist, just to kind of let me guide. It's been very useful to me,
Mm-hmm.
and I think in part, like there's you can even show. I mean, there's some research been done about this that the like I said, the telepathy exists in some way.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not very well understood, but it's something, and we do get more information from our five senses from our environment.
Mm-hmm.
And if you combine your thought process or your rational thinking with your feelings, you
Mm-hmm.
actually get better results in your life. So
Yes.
so I that's very logical to me. So I try to live by that, and not only the rational thinking, but also the feeling, and try to combine that.
I call that intuition.
Hmm.
Well, I'm also very I use my monkey mind a lot, is what I call it. But I'm also very intuitive, and that is why I've been able to channel the council of light, council of eight, council of nine, whichever one it's the councils, really. And uh, by speaking to them has also helped me make a great connection with the other side, as I call it. So when I speak to them, I had already experienced contact. So when I speak to them, it's easier for me because I
Hmm.
am not afraid. I am welcoming it. I'm actually, I've always said there's no way we're the only ones that exist with higher intelligence.
Hmm.
Absolutely not. And we're not even higher intelligence. But I'm absolutely always have said to myself, and even driving by on a highway, for example, there's a highway between between New Jersey and Pennsylvania, Route 80, where you could go in a certain section. One day the moon could appear on this side, and 10 minutes later the moon is here, yet it's going straight. It's not
Hmm.
making curves, it's not going anything. And it could be you blink and the moon is jumping on the other side, and you're like, wait a second. And I'm saying to myself, yep, this is one of those places where they're showing you different realities, depending on where you are that day or whatever. Um, but there's a lot of unexplained things like that, which I believe that they will come and be able to give us the understanding of how those things are happening.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you're familiar with the Kardashev scale.
A little bit.
Yeah, not many people know about it, but but at least in detail, it's basically a scale of energy, right? Like
Right.
to determine where is a civilization in its advancements,
Right.
in a way. So we are human beings are at about 0.7 on the Kardashian scale,
Right.
not Kardashian, like not the actress. Kardashev, sorry.
Right.
This is a Russian scientist from, I don't know, many years ago.
Right.
He actually worked with Carl Sagan.
Oh,
Actually,
okay. Okay.
at the time, the Sagan had a slightly different tail, so sometimes people call it the Kardashev-Sagan scale. Anyway, I digress. It just says like civilization level one is able to harness the energy of a whole planet.
Mm-hmm.
So we're able to harness much of it, but we don't have full control over the whole planet just yet. But we're getting there.
Right.
Level two is a civilization that's able to harness the whole amount of energy of a host star, like a Dyson sphere or something like that. And level three is harness the energy of a whole galaxy. So that's completely different, next level.
Right.
So civilizations don't go from one point to another on the scale very quickly. Like these are really big steps.
Right.
So we're at 0.7, right? We're getting there. A civilization that's able to cross the distance between the star is at least a level one civilization, possibly level two civilization, especially if they cross the distance with ease, like they seem to be doing. And like I said, the jump between different levels is massive. So it's an indicator of exactly how much understanding they have of the universe versus us. So the concept of you being humble we talked about earlier is really important. Like we should be proud of our achievements and our understandings and what we've gone through. 100%, because we're at our own level and working through our own problems and figuring stuff out for ourselves. That's amazing, really, really important. But we have to be humbled at the complexity of the universe and how other civilizations that are more advanced have been able to figure a lot more stuff out. So we'll have to put the ego aside, as you said, for ourselves, but also when meeting others. And we'll have to get beyond the instinct of self-preservation to a certain degree, like being so protective. Right now, there's an object that's coming into the solar system, 3I Atlas or Borisov, depending on who you talk to. And then there's speculation about what it could be, blah, blah, blah. And I've already started hearing, like, well, if it's an ET craft of some sort, like how we're going to defend ourselves against it.
And instead of saying how can we contact them?
Right. And I wrote something recently about it. Like, I don't want to complain about it too much. But what I wrote was, look, if it comes from a different civilization and it's about 12 kilometers diameter, like it's not a small thing.
Right.
Like astrally it is small, but like if you want to build something that's 12 kilometers big to traverse large distances, like it's a big project. Okay. It's not a small craft if it is a craft. So they've been calling it a mothership here, perhaps, or because it's so big. Anyway, it's like if you're on that ship, let's call it,
right,
and you're coming over here, you're making an entrance that is really obvious. Because you have the technology, like you don't need to make an appearance like that. You could just appear on land here, and you wouldn't even know. Right? They're making, if that is a craft, they're making an entrance to be super obvious. So this is not an invasion force, guys.
No.
No.
Because if they to invade, they would not make an appearance. They would have not announced themselves.
It's terrible military tactics. You don't make yourself known. Let people prepare for months.
Right.
For things. No, you just So this
Here
is
I
like
am.
obviously like look at us if it
Yep.
is. I think I
Mm-hmm.
have like serious doubt that it is. I think it's natural, but we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
It's like look at us, have your discussions, figure stuff out. You can even have time to intercept.
Right.
Possibly, it's really short timeline, but you could. So I think that's how we should be thinking, like just thinking like rationally here.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so, uh, but the instinct is, well, how are we going to defend ourselves? The other part of the argument I made is like, let's say it's aggressive. Let's just imagine that's it. What are you going to do?
Nothing.
Uh,
That we don't have the technology, we don't have the weapons, we don't have anything.
I mean,
No,
you could shoot nukes into space and hit it. Like
yeah,
technically, we could.
yeah, and they'll
Uh,
probably
but
laugh
it's
at
12 kilometers.
it. They'll probably laugh at it.
It's like, okay, like they can intercept those things. Like it's not, it's not a big thing. So
Mhm.
yeah, like but that idea of we are powerless is
Yes,
scary,
yes, it is.
because then you're kind of, this is something I don't understand and I don't know,
Right.
and
So
I'm
it's.
powerless to stop it.
Mm-hmm.
Scary.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we have to shed that through understanding and rationalization. Like we were just saying, it's like,
Right.
if they are aggressive, they wouldn't do it this way. Number
Mm-mm.
one.
No.
Okay. If they're doing that for other reasons, so let's calm down.
Mm-hmm.
Let's put our big pants on.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, look, okay, let's try communicating with it. Let's study it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do these other things. And
Mm-hmm.
let's just prepare the population. And Avi Loeb, actually, I read an article this morning. Dr. Avi Loeb from Harvard, who's studying these objects and studying this thing quite
Mm-hmm.
intensely. He was claiming this, like, let's be prepared. He said there's two options: either it's benign or it's malign. That's true. These are the two
Mm-hmm.
options.
Right.
Polar about it, but let's be prepared for both. But let's focus on. I was like, let's understand it first, like
Right.
instead of, you know, it's like, yeah, okay, like let's do that. So
Definitely.
I think we have to do our best to understand what's happening and change our mindset from a mindset. If it's another civilization that's way advanced, look, let's just try to have a conversation with it. Like
Mm-hmm.
this, it's not shoot missiles at it. Like it's pointless.
Especially if
Yeah.
they're coming, it's that big and they're coming through space that fast. I am sure that they have all the proper shields to whatever gets thrown at them just dissipate. Because they're not going to be targets. They don't. I just don't believe that.
Oh,
I
it could be just it's so obvious. They maybe they sent this over just to see if we're going to shoot at it,
yeah, that's very true
and
too.
let's blow it up and see if we're going to do that. There's no way in there, right? Maybe it's just a rock, and they just want to see, like, are they going to shoot at it? Like, who knows?
Very
Like
true.
they can see they're here.
Yeah.
They're listening to us now. Like
Yep.
they, it's not.
And they're probably going.
Yeah. All these drones that we see, like people see in the sky, like I've been in these conversations sometimes. It's like, well, I saw an ET. It's like, yeah, you saw something, but it's not them, most likely. They
Right.
don't put their own body and consciousness at risks among humans.
Mm-hmm.
They send drones, robots, programs, biological or otherwise,
Mm-hmm.
and they play with us.
Mm-hmm.
They don't need to be physically in the object. Like
Mm-mm.
we don't do that ourselves. Like they're more advanced than us.
Mm-hmm.
When you go into hostile territory or dangerous territory, we send a drone.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
don't risk our own selves.
No.
Why would they? So
And
what you saw is probably a drone or whatever, which is still great. I mean,
yeah.
alien drone is exciting,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, they're acting like smart people. They won't put their own lives at stake unless they're really sure of the conditions.
Right.
So that object, yeah, it could be like I doubt they have way more effective way to travel. That's not their means of travel. That's if it's something artificial, it's either a debris for somewhere else, just randomly flying, which is possible,
Right.
or it's a test just to see what we're going to do.
Very
We don't.
logical to me. And they would not make a grand entrance if they were hostile. They would just here they are, and that's it.
Yeah, we're thinking human ways. Like, oh, it's like the July. What's that movie about July 4th and the ETs coming?
Not Independence
Independence Day.
Day.
Yeah,
Yes. Okay.
Independence Day. It's like
Yeah.
this big object coming. It's like it's got
Right.
to that. It's like very
Yeah.
obvious because it has to contain all this technology, all these armies, like physical. It's like, no, we wouldn't be doing that. We don't send a billion soldiers over. Like we, so there's better ways to do that. So it's not that.
Right.
Like it's just not effective, not efficient. It's crazy. It's way early warning. No. So anyway,
So where could people before we end because we're coming short to the end, but where could people? I mean, I'm going to put your LinkedIn um, link there. Now,
sure.
could people contact you there, and could they get the book and all that there?
Yeah, I know I talked about my book quite a bit, but
Hmm.
the purpose is not to sell books.
No, but
But
people are
yeah, you can
really
contact me there. But
right.
also you can go to the Alliance's website. So the Alliance is the website is Alliance for
Hmm.
the number 4
Hmm.
et.org.
Okay.
So if you visit there and you use the contact form, that's also going to reach me and a few other people. And there's also a membership page where you can see how you can contribute in different ways, including volunteering and so on. And we welcome everybody. We have a Discord channel through there so that you can go and just come in and chat. And we're a community and we're growing all the time.
Wonderful, wonderful. And for me, as an experiencer and as a channeler, is nice to see and understand that there are communities and that it's growing and that it's peaceful, that there
Yeah.
isn't arguments, that there isn't discord per se, like it's just we know they exist and this is the let's try to get this going and let's try to have a place where they can feel welcomed
Yeah.
and that we as human beings know to respect those boundaries because
Mhm.
it's going to be an official place. So
That's right. We understand the rules.
yeah, exactly. Hopefully.
Thank you
Uh,
so much, Glenn.
Oh, I am just very grateful that you allow me to interview you. And please, whenever you wish to come back, let me know. And I want to thank our audience. As always, please do share because this is important. This is information that could open somebody else's eyes and could also heal them because they're thinking they're the only ones that have experienced or that they're thinking about this or that they're being pushed. Maybe they want to volunteer. So, as always, thank you. And thank you to the audience. And as always, again, love you. Bye.
Thank you, everybody.